We know that whole thing with Ken and Yeat goes way back, you know? And it's not like they're just dissing each other over and over again. Yeat never responds at all. He doesn't say anything. He doesn't even acknowledge Opium. And after 2022, things have completely changed. And if I had a whole history lesson about this whole situation, this video might be 40 minutes long. But we're not gonna do that. Because the only proof we got is Lil 88, alright? And I know that sounds crazy to say, but yeah, that's the only proof we got. Because he's the only person that kind of initiate and gas up the beef to make it be bigger than what it is, you know? And the whole point being is that we know that Opium doesn't mess with Yeat, and Yeat doesn't mess with Opium because he don't even acknowledge them or he don't say anything about them at all. But we don't actually know that from Yeat perspective, but he doesn't address them. Even if there's beef going on, he don't say anything. And people try to make up things saying that they know what happened and all that, but we don't know. Nobody has never came out to actually acknowledge what happened, but clearly something happened, all right? But that's not the point, because I'm sure that y'all seen Don Toliver and Yeat perform the other day, right? They had a whole performance where they were a duo at Summer Smash, the only duo actually, and it was actually cool though. I think they jumped off a helicopter or they were skydiving or whatever. Good songs were played. You can't really complain about that, you know? But you know, Ken did the same thing, but he performed on Sunday, the last day of it. And as I'm watching, Ken out of nowhere just said something slick, and I ain't think that much of it, but this might have been the second song or the first song that he played. But before the beat even dropped, you could just hear Ken say, "Fuck you talking about, ain't no duos." A whole bunch of people was like, the only duo that has performed here recently was Don Toliver and Yeat, and we know that you don't like Yeat, but is he dissing Don Toliver? But here's the video right here.
I can't stop you for your shit, fuck around them motherfuckers like. You tell me I ain't no duos, we ain't team no
Oh, he said more than that. He said we don't care about them because I think something like that. And then you got people saying, why can't they just be friends? Somebody made a good point. He said, has Yeat ever acknowledged any of these jazz from Opium? And everybody is saying no. And I kind of think it's because, you know, Yeat knows that he's bigger than all of them. But I do miss these days too, man, when they were all just cool. And y'all know how this shit goes. Once the video got out there and it started spreading like wildfire, it was only a matter of time before people actually started seeing it. And everybody started using a caption on their tweets that, yo, Carson is dissing Yeat during his Summer Smash performance. But there's one person they was missing out in this caption, because this guy replied fast, and that was Don Toliver. Because the next day, this is what Don Toliver said on this story. This is what he said first. He said, niggas be on some lame shit. Just get your money and go home. Laugh out loud. And then he said this, my baby mama got more money than you niggas. You need to work harder. Laughing emoji. And then Ken had responded to him. He said, you the worst thing that happened to your baby mama. Pussy ass. And y'all know right after Ken said this, he deleted that shit. He got rid of it. I know how the Opium dudes are, bro. They get rid of that shit very fast. So yeah, you're seeing it right. Ken Carson and Don Toliver are going back and forth through stories and all that. So I made a TikTok about a week ago because I seen this video of Lone taking Don Toliver off his album For Love Lasts Forever. And I made a video about it, and a whole bunch of people were saying, yo, Don Toliver and Lone are not beefing, bro. They got songs together. And I'm not trying to gas up the beef and be like, yo, something is going on. But this right here, Ken and Don Toliver going back and forth kind of shows you that it's deeper than just a one-on-one issue, you know? Y'all know Don Toliver and Lone kind of had something in the past, but I think it's squashed. I don't know if they cool now, but y'all remember Lone ex-girlfriend literally said that, yo, she couldn't even listen to Don Toliver without Lone calling him a FA. You know, Lone is not with this girl no more. Obviously, probably was gassing it up, or she probably was lying. I don't know. Some people were saying that, yeah, she was lying or whatever. She was just trying to start up an issue. But it's kind of just making sense now. Like, maybe there's something going on. And we don't want this to escalate to the point where you'll have rappers like Cardi and Travis jump in, even though that won't happen. It won't happen, okay? Let me not jinx that shit, because obviously Cardi and Travis go way back. They super cool. But then y'all got the guys under y'all like Don, Ken, and the outsider like Yeat. Everybody just beefing with each other. It's all about. And mark my words when I say this, bro. I got a huge feeling 88 is gonna find some way, somehow, to put himself in this conversation. Some way, somehow, watch. He gonna make a tweet talking about, you not double O. We didn't did this. We didn't did that. You know,
not a fan of Fortnite duo. During his performance at Summer Smash yesterday, he said, fuck you talking about.
Not talking about no damn
Fortnite, right? I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep my smile down. I mean, I don't know what else he could be talking about. I'm not gonna lie.
It's kind of insane at this point that Yeat still hasn't responded to this shit, gang. It's been 3 years. He been getting dissed by one of the best record labels, whatever you want to call it, one of the best crews in hip hop right now, Opium. He been getting dissed by everybody except for Cardi, and he still hasn't said anything. And it's kind of no point because he bigger than all of them except for Cardi. Why would he? And let's just say maybe it went like this. Ken was performing. He dissed Yeat, but he wasn't trying to diss Don. Even though he stated duo and not Yeat's name specifically, he probably was just talking about Yeat because that's clearly the person that he had an issue with in the past. But the minute that Don Toliver responded on his story, it kind of gassed Ken up to be like, you know what? Fuck you too. You with the ops. We don't mess with you either. So it got a lot of us like rethinking, like maybe this situation is bigger than what it is. But that probably might not even be the issue. It might just be a Ken and Yeat thing. But now it's bigger than that. We had people under Cardi and Trav beef. Literally, they're artists. And now you got people out there debating whether Don Toliver and Ken Carson is better. They're two different type of artists. Like I told y'all, here they go with these comparisons because somebody just made a tweet tweet, he's like, if Ken Carson and Story Looney took the stage like Yeat and Don, they will blow their performance out the water. And I'm not gonna lie, Don is a good performer, but that's not a bad take at all. He said it like it was a crazy take or something. And I'm gonna make it clear, I'm not on nobody's side, but I'm not sure why Ken diss Yeat for having a duo or whatever, or doing a duo thing with his performance. But if we being real, Ken duo is literally long. That's his duo too. You know, they didn't perform together before, and so I don't know if this like an ego war or something, like he trying to prove that he doesn't need anybody. And don't get it twisted, I know it's opium. They didn't found some weird ways to kind of diss people and all that. Like for example, with the whole Yeat situation, Ken hasn't actually said anything until now. The only thing we were going based off is Ken liking tweets or Lone liking tweets here and there, or 88 making the tweet talking about Eminem hinting at Yeat, and then Ken and Lone co-signing the shit. And then y'all remember last year, Yeat and Ken were trying to drop on the same day as each other or something like that. So it's never been a huge problem until now. Who makes better music, Don Toliver or Ken Carson? But yeah, anyways, y'all let me know how y'all feel about this whole Ken and Yeat beef, or Ken and Don Toliver beef that's going on. They going back and forth and shit like that. What y'all think about that? Also, make sure y'all follow my Twitch and my IG right now. I love y'all so much. Y'all stay blessed. Peace.